Welcome, Omar and Janelle,
Hello.
to our guest speaking session. And we're coming to a halt, but we are so glad we were able to get you guys in. And Omar Correa is a new admissions rep. And we just are really excited and elated to have you. We actually have really missed you guys here physically. You guys have come every couple of weeks along with Metro. And it was nice to have Lydia because she was also willing and really awesome at relating and helping our Spanish speaking students. So this is very exciting that you are bilingual. Hablas español y puedes soportar y ayudar a nuestros estudiantes que están aquí y quieren
Así es.
superar y quieren ir al colegio. So it looks like we have a couple of classrooms joining us, Mr. Figueroa and Ms. Bracero. So cualquier cosa, si tienen preguntas, por favor póngalo en el chat. If you guys are with the teacher right now and you guys have questions, you can have them put it in the chat, or you can email Omar or myself or Janelle, and we can get those questions answered. I'm going to let Omar go ahead and start, que empiece, y como les dije, si tienen preguntas, les podemos ayudar, me pueden mandar un email electrónico o aquí en el chat, y pues aquí se lo voy a dejar. Gracias.
Muchas gracias, Yvette. So, welcome everyone. My name is Omar Correa, and I'm the bilingual representative at the Admissions and Outreach Office at Frcc Community College, specifically at the Westminster campus. So let's begin. So I understand that some of you may be feeling overwhelmed. Oh dear. But like, and it's mostly because we're going to talk about admissions, financial aid requirements, scholarship requirements. So you may even look like this guy. And that's completely understandable because I was like that when I was first learning all of this. But I hope that by the end of the session, I can answer all of your questions and you'll be as happy as this little minion right here, because fear no more, for Omar is here. So let's go over some of the benefits of going to a community college and also Front Range. So one of the main benefits is that you have small class sizes. And at the Westminster campus specifically, our average class size is 19 students, which is really small as compared to most four-year universities. This gives us the ability to give our students a more individualized attention and more individualized advising. Also, because of this, community college also tends to be a very good transition from high school into university. And one of the best parts is that it costs much less. But we'll talk about that just a little bit later. Also, at a community college, we have this policy that's called open admission. Now, what open admission means is that if you apply, you are accepted. So everyone is accepted. Also, we offer classes at Front Range which are transferable to a four-year university, and you do not have to live on campus, so then you get the perk of being able to stay close to home. Now, did you know that Front Range Community College is actually one of the largest community colleges in Colorado? We have a lot of campuses stretching from Fort Collins all the way down to Westminster. Also, 57% of the students at the Westminster campus identify as first generation, and 44% of our student population identifies as students of color. Now let's talk about the degree sequence at Front Community College versus a university. So at Front Community College, we offer certificates. These tend to take about 1 to 2 semesters, so usually less than 1 year to complete. Then we have the associate degrees, which we often call our 2-year degrees, which include the Associate of Arts and the Associate of Science. These two are made to transfer to a 4-year university. So if you get an Associate of Arts, you will generally transfer into a Bachelors of Arts program at a 4-year university. And same logic with the Associate of Science, that if you earn that associate, then you will generally transfer into a Bachelor of Science program at a university. we also offer the Associate of Applied Science and the Associate of General Studies, which are not meant to transfer. Those are meant for you to attend Front Range for 2 years, get your associates, and then enter the workforce right after. Now, at Front Range Community College, we group all of our certificates and all of our associates into these 6 career and academic communities. Now, we have a lot of them, so that's why we have to group them into these related groups, which ranges from health sciences and wellness to math and science to manufacturing, automotive, construction, design technologies, liberal arts, information technology. There is a lot within these groups, but just to give you like a few examples, our nursing program, it is under the health and sciences and wellness. Our associate of arts and business is within the business group, and our associate of science in biology is within our math and science group. Now, if you have a specific question about if a program that you're interested in is available at Front Range, please let me know either in the chat or at the end of this presentation. Now, as I said before, one of the great things about Front Range is that we have classes which are guaranteed to transfer to a 4-year university. So these would be universities such as Colorado State University, such as the University of Northern Colorado, NCU, and MSU. We also have this amazing program called Bridge to Bachelors, and this is this program applies to new first-time students that are attending any CCCS college, aka Front Range, and are guaranteed to have so students who earn an associate at Front Range Community College will be able to have guaranteed admissions to a 4-year university such as CSU if you're part of this program. Now, to opt into this program, it will be on the actual FRCC application, so make sure to opt in there, or you can opt in within your first semester at Front Range. Now, I just want to talk to you all a little bit about my FRCC story and also just in general, my college experience. So when I first graduated high school, I really didn't know what I wanted to do. But what I did know was that I wanted to have a better life than what my parents had. And that was mostly because my parents were immigrants from Mexico. And so they had this great American dream of me being able to have a really good life here in the US. And so they were super supportive of me going to college so I could get jobs that they were not qualified to get. But unfortunately, they didn't really know how to help me. And so I felt that I had to go through the admissions process, through the financial aid process, through looking for colleges all by myself. And I didn't know what I was doing either. And so I just kind of felt like I was like floating around and like, you know, trying to figure things out on my own. And I had actually applied to universities in state and out of state. And then that's when I came across Front Range.
Guys, if you still don't know what you're doing after college, this is really important for you. And they're telling you the difference between an associate's degree, a bachelor's degree, and so on. And also to get grants.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I will be able to talk about financial aid just a little bit later, so stay tuned in. But when I had actually applied to Front Range, I got to go to campus. I got to talk to some of the recruiters. I got to talk to admissions and financial aid. And just the vibe of the college was really awesome. You know, like they were really down to earth, and they were all super helpful. And so I found the support system that I needed, that my parents couldn't give me at Front Range Community College. And one of the things that I really loved about Front Range was that they had smaller class sizes. And that was important for me because I'm going to be honest, you know, like I was not the greatest student in high school. You know, I did get accepted into other universities, but I knew that if I went straight into a four-year university, that I may not do as well as I had expected. And so being able to have that individualized attention from my instructors, from my advisors, was something that was important to me, and it was something that Front Range was able to give me. And because I went to Front Range Community College, it really set up a really good foundation for me to then go to a university confidently. And once I went to the university level, you know, I earned my bachelor's degree, and then I even went on to get my master's degree. And this was something that I did not expect myself to be able to do, honestly. Like if you would have asked high school me if I were that I in the future was gonna get a master's degree, I would first of all not believe you, because I thought that I was maybe just gonna be able to barely get an associate, maybe if that, like if I was, you know, gonna be able to finish. But what helped me to pursue that, what helped me to keep going, was a support system that I found at Front Range Community College. And so if it weren't for Front Range, I don't know if I would be here with you today. So let's talk about a little bit about the admissions process. And I hope that after this presentation, you'll be like this little bird, just like running your way to go fill out the FRCC application. So pop quiz. Does anyone know what open admissions means? I actually talked about this just a few slides earlier. You can either chat it in, or like you can unmute yourself and talk. Do we have any responses, Janelle? Okay, well, let me remind you guys. So what open admissions means, it is that anyone who applies is accepted. So that's what that means. Now let's go through step one. So step one in our admissions process is to apply for, or is to fill out our application at frontrange.edu. Now, as I said, it is open admission, so everyone is accepted. You know, just like Oprah, like it's screaming right here, you all get accepted. And there is no application fee, so it's $0. There is no GPA, nor is there an SAT or ACT test score requirement. No essay requirement, no letters of recommendation. There's also no deadline. However, you do need to enroll before your classes start. So I guess that would be the only unofficial deadline. Now, step two is that after you apply, you will get an email with your eWolf student login and your student number. And so you will go to our website, frontrange.edu, and then you'll click on eWolf, sign in, and then you will click on the little bottom icon called Navigate, and then that will take you to your to-do items list. Now, in your to-do items list, this is not comprehensive of what you're gonna have to do, but these are the two most common items. So number one is to submit the pre-registration form to get placed into the right classes. Now, if you did take the SAT or the ACT, or if you took any AP exams, IB exams, or if you took college courses while you were in high school, This is where you would let us know of those scores or of those classes so that we can then place you into the right classes. And then number 2 is to attend an online new student orientation. Step 3 is to meet with your pathway advisor. These are also known as academic advisors, or at the high school level, they're usually called counselors. And so your pathway advisor will help you make an academic plan to show you not only what classes you need to take that semester, but also when your planned graduation plan is, and all the classes that you're going to take from that point forward. And then step 4 is to attend the online new student orientation and then register for classes. Now let's talk about financial aid. Now, scholarships do equal free money, but the catch is you actually need to apply. Now let's talk about college costs just in general. So with college costs, you have tuition, student fees, class fees, books and supplies, housing and food. Now, Front Range Community College does not have any dorms, so then this housing and food requirement is not included within the Front Range cost, which makes it cheaper. Now, how much can you save? A lot, actually. You can save up to $12,000 in tuition as compared to going to a 4-year school. So if you were to attend at Front Range for 2 years, your approximate cost will be $9,673. Now, if you were to take those same 2 years of education, same quality, same classes, and you were to take them at a 4-year school, AKA a university, it would cost you $21,734 on average. That's a lot of money. Now let's look at Front Range as compared to other colleges and universities. So Front Range is the cheapest option when it comes to 1-year resident tuition and fees as compared to these other popular colleges and universities in Colorado. In fact, if you look at CSU as compared to Front Range Community College, you're going to be paying less than half of what you would be paying at CSU. And at CSU, there is usually a requirement for to campus your first year. So your actual cost would be the of $1,232 plus the room and board, which is which is $12,440. So just general Front Range is much more accessible economically. Now let's look at the tuition and fees for Front Range at a more granular level. So for Colorado residents, you'd be paying $153 for 1 credit on campus, and that doesn't include fees. Now, 1 class is generally 3, maybe 4 college credit hours. So then you can do the math on there, like if you want to calculate it for 1 class. But if you were to take 15 credit hours, which is about 4 to 5 classes, you would be paying $2,494 on campus at the Westminster campus, which includes the fees. And your books for each semester for approximately 5 classes is about $500. Now let's talk about the different types of aid. So we have grants, which are generally given by Fafsa and Caspa, and we will talk about those later. There are also loans, which is money that you borrow and then have to pay back with interest. And then there's work study, which is the ability to actually get a job on campus. This is something that I used when I was in college, and it was really fun because there's all different kinds of jobs on campus, and it just helps you to get connected. And then there's also scholarships, which, as I said, it is free money, but the catch is you gotta apply. Now let's look at Fafsa. So Fafsa is a free application for federal student aid. And so to apply for that, you go to studentaid.gov. It'll ask you questions about your family, your demographics, income, and your educational plans. And so FAFSA can award you grants, loans, and work study. The application is currently open. So if you have not filled that out and you are a senior, make sure that you fill that out. You will be using your 2019 tax information, and please remember that once you do fill out your FAFSA, you do need to renew that every single year. Now, this is something new, and it's called Caspa, and Caspa is the Colorado application for state financial aid. Now, you would fill out this application if you do not qualify for FAFSA. So Caspa allows student aid to be awarded to those without lawful immigration status. And one of the requirements for Caspa is that you must have resided in Colorado for at least 3 years before graduating from a Colorado high school or GED program. And this application is also currently open. So if you do qualify for this application, make sure to apply for it. I have the link here in the slide, but if you need the link, just let me know in the chat, and I can send it to you at the end of the presentation. Now, here we have the College Opportunity Fund, which we often call COF for short. And this is a free stipend from the state of Colorado for Colorado residents that are attending Colorado public universities or colleges. And so you will get $40 per credit hour. So if you were to take 15 credit hours, which is about 4 to 5 classes for one semester, you would receive $600 for that semester. Now let's look more in depth at scholarships. So these are the different types of scholarships. There is merit-based. Merit-based is basically depends on your academics or community service work. Then there's identity-based, which is, for example, scholarships for being first generation, scholarships for being a student of color, and different identities as well. Then there's skills-based, which are somewhat more popular, like having like a scholarship for being good at football, basketball scholarships, tennis scholarships, you name it. And there's also scholarships for playing certain types of instruments, handwriting, and so many more. And then there's the fun and random scholarships, such as the duct tape scholarship or the being left-handed scholarship. I'm not left-handed, so I never got that one. But there are also private scholarships. And so those you would need to look at the specific requirements for that, but private scholarships generally have a combination like of the other types of scholarships, which we've talked about. And so if you want to apply to scholarships that Front Range offers, you would go to frontrange.edu/scholarships. Now, let's talk more in depth about the Foundation Scholarship at Front Range Community College. So these are the eligibility requirements for that scholarship. So you must attend Front Range Community College during the 2021-2022 academic school year, which is this coming one. So basically, you have to go to school this fall. And you must complete the FAFSA or the Caspa by April 15th, 2021. You must also have a cumulative GPA of 2.0 or higher, and must be taking a minimum of 6 credit hours, meaning being a part-time student. And the deadline to submit the Foundation Scholarship application is March 1st, 2021. So please make sure that that you have those 2 dates written down somewhere, because the Foundation Scholarship is required before the FAFSA or the Caspa. Now here's some general information about the FRCC Foundation Scholarship. So after you apply to the general scholarship for the foundation scholarship, which is the very first one that you fill out, based on your answers from that application, you will be prompted to apply to other scholarships, which we talked about before, which might be based on your identity, or it might be based on your community service or your academics. Now, the foundation scholarship can only award you up to 2 scholarships per academic year, and the award amounts are between $500 to $4,500. Remember, the more scholarships that you apply to, the greater chance that you actually have of getting one. So make sure to apply to as many as you can. Now, I was actually able to get the 3 writing prompts from the foundation scholarship. So if you are thinking about going to Front Range, and you also want to apply to scholarships there, listen up, because these are the 3 writing prompts that you're going to have. So I just wanted to just brainstorm a little bit with you all for the 3 writing prompts. So let's look at the first one. It says, please tell us about an influential person in your life and how he or she helped shape you. This can be your family, a mentor, an employer, etc. So for this one, what they're really looking for is is for you to tell us what person in your life has really made an impact on you, or continues to have an impact on you. Who would you say has maybe changed the course of your life in a positive way? You know, like who has helped you to form your values and what you care about? You know, like this is the type of responses that we're kind of looking for in this first prompt. Now let's look at the second one. Briefly describe a challenge you had to overcome and what tools and strategies you use to do that, and what you learned about yourself in the process. So for this one, if I were gonna write my response, I would think about times in my life or situations in my life which were really difficult, which were almost like an obstacle that I had to overcome in order to keep going. And so, you know, like like if I had to talk about one of the obstacles that I had in my life, like I would definitely say that one of the obstacles was coming from an immigrant family and wanting to apply to college. You know, and so I would think about all the different people that I had talked to. I would think about websites which I visited. I would think about the library that I visited too. When I was researching for colleges, and like what it even meant to fill out certain types of applications. And so that's one thing that I would think about writing about, but just think about those obstacles, those super difficult situations that you've had in your life, that you've been able to overcome, how you did that, and what you learned about yourself in that instance. And something that I learned about myself after going through all the college process was I'm super resilient. You know, like I'm a go-getter, and that if I want something, you know, like I'm going to do whatever I can to reach that. And so that's what I learned about myself when I went through the college process. Now, number 3 is tell us how attending Farmington Community College will help you further your dream, career goals, or aspirations. And so for this one, I would really encourage you to think about the end goal. So think about either your dream job, or think about what degree you eventually want to end up with. So that could be anything from being a doctor, being a nurse, being a paramedic, being a construction manager. It could be being an entrepreneur, right? So having your own business. And so think about that end goal and think about where front range is between now and that end goal. And so that's kind of like what they want to know. Like tell us about how front range will help you get there. So one example would be that if you are wanting to become a nurse, right, you could talk about how Front Range Community College has a nursing program, and that through that nursing program, it'll help you reach your dream of becoming a nurse, and how you could go to either other colleges or other universities, but they might be more expensive. So then going to Front Range Community College will help you dream of becoming a nurse, because it helps lower that financial barrier between you and your dream job. So that's what I would really have you focus on when answering that question. Now, let's look at some tips for scholarship essay writing and also for these written responses. So, number one is to write to your audience. Now, your audience for this scholarship application, and usually for most scholarship applications, like is a faculty and staff of the school. So when you're writing this, you can think about me because I'm part of the staff. Also remember that you will be graded on grammar, vocabulary, and sentence structure. So once you write your essays or your responses, please make sure to have someone else read over it to see like if you've missed anything either grammatically or to check the flow. Now, if you don't have anyone to do that, then what I would recommend is that after you finish writing your essay, after you finish writing your response, to either take a day off from looking at it and then come back and have fresh eyes to look at it, because you will be able to see what maybe you wouldn't have been able to see in that moment. Also, make sure to ask for letters of recommendation early, and this is important so that the person who's actually writing your letter can write a really thoughtful letter of recommendation. Now, these are some other suggestions. One of them is to keep all copies of your essays. And this is something that I did in college, especially because it saves you so much time. And many scholarships really ask you super similar questions or even the exact same question. And so if you keep all the copies of your essays, you do not have to reinvent the wheel. And it'll also save you a bunch of time, because once you see how many scholarships there are available, it really seems overwhelming. But if you have those other essays that you can recycle and use again and just tweak for that essay, it'll go a lot quicker.
Omar, can I insert here? You guys, this is really important, especially for those of you who are applying for the WPS Foundation Scholarship, which is due on the 26th. We're going to have a student panel today at 2:15 that they're going to give you guys some tips and tricks on how they achieve scholarships through various resources. So when I did receive scholarships for being a first gen student in high school, and I applied, and it takes time, but it's worth it. Mm-hmm. If you guys are going to divide the time that a $500 or $5,000 scholarship could be in the time that you're putting into applying, it really outweighs any job that you can be working in right now. So make it your part-time or full-time job to apply to these. And believe me, you'll be so happy you did, especially if you don't get it, then at least you know that you tried. But there's so many scholarships, especially the Rotary, especially the WPS, and writing the essays, the prompts, you guys, are all really similar. You just have to tweak your essays and just get your language arts teacher or somebody to help you do that. And with the Future Center, we're here to do that. But if you guys are closer to some of your teachers, they are willing and they are able to want to support you guys to do this. So sorry, it's my tidbit. I just get really passionate about this. So do this.
Oh no, you're good. You're good. Yeah. I mean, just like how Eva was saying, it's super important to apply to scholarships and to make time for it. when I transferred from Front Range to CSU, and I was applying to scholarships, I went to this place called the Educational Opportunity Center, so EOC, and it was on the CSU campus. And I remember that they were the ones that told me about one specific scholarship called the Reicher Scholarship. And I remember that she told me about how it was really competitive, but that she wanted me to apply. And honestly, like, I didn't want to apply because it was competitive. Because I was like, nah, like, I'm not even gonna get it. Like, why should I even try? You know, like, what's the point? Because it just seemed like impossible to me. But then I did apply, and I actually got it, and it paid for all of my bachelor's degree. So then I graduated with my bachelor's without any debt. So that's zero, guys. So make sure to apply to those big scholarships, because you really never know. But I would rather know that I tried, rather than thinking about what if I would have applied and would have gone. So just really want to echo what Yvette said, and that goes great into the next point, which is to prioritize your scholarships by deadline and amounts. So if the scholarship is a larger amount, please make sure to prioritize that first, and also look at the deadlines as well. Keep a calendar. Put a notification on your phone. Write it on your hand if that's what you need to do, but do not miss a deadline, because you most likely will not be able to resubmit the application. So please remember what your deadlines are. And then the last,
Omar, can I insert something? The
yeah.
biggest mistake our students make is not just missing the deadline, but starting late.
Yeah, do not start late.
All of a sudden, like 2 days before a scholarship is due, they're sending us essays to look at. No, that is way too late. You guys should be sending us your essays, because you're going to have to rewrite them, and you're going to have to maybe rework them and rephrase them. And it's a work in progress. I spent many hours after school and as a senior rewriting my essay, because I wasn't a strong writer, nor was I the smartest. So you guys don't have to be the smartest or a strong writer to get scholarships. You just need to ask somebody for help. Ask them to help you write your essays. You have a story. You have a great story. Share it, but you have to put it on paper where it's actually readable and it reads and it flows. Don't turn it into somebody 2 days before. Do it at least a week. Give yourself a week in time in advance, if not more, to go back and just massage your essays so they're perfect. So don't wait the day before. Do it like a week before, if not even for more time. That's all.
No, yeah, completely agree. Make sure to start writing your essays early, because I mean, like I remember when I was applying, like, I was not a strong writer. In fact, I was in the Front Range Community College Writing Center all the time, because that's how much I sucked at writing. I needed someone to be there all the time, so that they could teach me, so that they could read over it, and then I would rewrite and rewrite and rewrite. Also, I was in the Math Help Center like 24/7, but that's a whole different story. But yeah, so just like how Yvette said, make sure to write those essays early and send them out early. And then the last point is to apply to smaller size scholarships. If you have time, make sure to prioritize those larger ones. But if you do have time, make sure to apply to smaller size scholarships, because maybe you didn't get that $1,000 scholarship, but maybe you got two $500 ones, so those smaller size scholarships really add up. And especially when you're talking about future student debt, you will appreciate if you had that $500 scholarship, because that means $500 less in debt. But yeah, so I hope to see you all graduate either from Front Range Community College or from another college, wherever it is. But go for that goal of higher education. So if you have any questions, this is my contact info. It's also in the chat. But yeah, so I'm really happy to have been able to have this presentation with you guys, have this time. And I just really encourage all of you to either, you know, go for that bachelor's, go for that associate's, go for that certificate, whatever it is, but don't let your dreams go by. You know, make sure that you go out there and you go and get them, because I know.
That's awesome. Thank you, Omar. Gracias. Y por los que hablan español, sí se puede. And Omar speaks Spanish, habla español, les puede ayudar.
Así
Puede
es.
mandarle un mensaje, puede mandarme a mí un mensaje, se lo puedo mandar a él, pero aquí está toda la información, apunten su número, el número de él, write down his number, you guys, he is willing to help you. I'm telling you guys, we're willing to help you. In spite of COVID, I mean, COVID question, what are you guys seeing as far as in-person or virtual online for next year? So a lot of our students are wondering.
I'll let Janelle answer this one because she's more versed in that.
No problem. Yeah, so what we're looking at right now is kind of, we're hoping to have more classes on campus in the fall. Our students have really asked for that. And they've really shown that we're not having transmission on campus for the classes that we do have. They're really, the classes that we're gonna offer, they're gonna be more in person, are gonna be like our lab-based classes, so our science classes, our medical classes, things like that. But they are also enforcing social distancing. So they're going to be smaller class sizes, or they're going to have the lab split up for those classes. On our website, we are listing the 4 different formats that we're currently offering classes, which is like completely online. We have then the some classes that are real-time remote is what we call them. So basically like you're on like this during a normal class time, just like you're in high school where you have your teacher in front of you and you have the class work. And then we also have the real-time remote plus some campus meetings, like I said, for some of those labs. Then we also have our completely, like I said, online, where you do it whenever you get the time to do it, as long as you meet the deadlines. And then we're also having kind of that same kind of format where it's like more of a lecture that's recorded, and then you come in for labs as well. So we've got a couple different formats that are available. And our president just said this week he's looking at trying to get more classes on campus, because that's what our students have asked for. But masks are required on campus. We have all the sanitation stuff ready to go. They're hoping to have the kind of official plan out in the end of March.
Awesome, awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. I know that our seniors are feeling the heat, not only just to graduate, but for the next steps. Seniors, please, please, please fill out the Fafsa Caspa just for fun. I challenge you, okay? Just fill it out, please. We're begging you here at the Future Center. Just fill it out for fun. We'd love to help you to see how much money you can get. How about that's a challenge? How much free money can I actually get from the government? And then you either use it or you don't. So help me help you. Help me help you. All right, you guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Omar. Thank you, Janelle. We shall see you guys again.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Muchas gracias.
Adios.
Nos vemos.
Adios.